This AgVision program is made possible through the generous support of Syngenta Seeds NK brand. The results you need, the freedom to choose. And by Farms.com. Ag news, market prices, ag careers, and farm real estate. You'll find it all at Farms.com.
Well, the knowledge game is by far the most powerful force changing production agriculture at present. Farmers are not in control of the knowledge game. Those are the words of my next guest. Peter Apedaile is the president of Peer Diagnostics. He is professor emeritus in the Department of Rural Economy at the University of Alberta, and he is a farmer. Peter joins us today from City TV in Edmonton. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to be with you, Kevin.
Peter, the reason that we've invited you to appear on this program today is because agriculture in this country is clearly in transition, has been for some time. In order for farmers and governments and so on to effectively invest and retool the industry, there needs to be an understanding of how our economy is changing, how value is ultimately determined. I'm going to go to the statement that I read at the beginning, which revolves around the concept that you described as a new rural economy. What is that?
Well, the new rural economy is really the digitization of our rural economy. We're moving from the industrial era to the knowledge era. You'll recall that when we did start in agriculture, we were all artisans, and that's where we made our money. We make our money now by organizing knowledge.
Okay. So let's go to that statement that we began with a moment ago and ask you to explain it. I'll say it again. The knowledge game is by far the most powerful force changing production agriculture at present. Farmers are not in control of the knowledge game. What does that mean?
Well, it means that, as usual, knowledge is power. And in this case, knowledge is very powerful. The issue today is that the knowledge isn't being developed on farms by apprenticeship or by trial and error. Those are outmoded learning models. The knowledge is being determined in Hyderabad in India, or Silicon Valley, or St. Paul, Alberta, in a small office somewhere where people are writing code. And farmers don't do this. What I do is I buy a 50 series flex coiled air drill, for example, and we zero till, and everything is done by setting up the drill so that the computer delivers the seed and fertilizer in a metered way.
Now, is there a means, if farmers are not in control of this knowledge game, is there a process, is there something farmers can do to begin to become a part of it?
Yes, I think there is, and in fact many farmers in Canada are being very successful at packaging up new bundles of knowledge with the knowledge that they have, and they are making money at it. But on the aggregate, agriculture in this new knowledge economy is shedding labor perhaps even more rapidly than it did when it entered the industrial era back just before and after the Second World War.
So let's look at the second half of that statement then. You went on to say, since most of the organizing of the new knowledge is happening beyond the farm gate, it should be no surprise that the economic rewards do not get back to the farm gate. So are you surprised that we are endlessly in this cycle of income crisis, or what does that statement mean?
No, one can't be surprised, but I don't think it's a cycle of crises. It's part of an ongoing transition that's not going to have an end because it's based on the creativity of human beings. So, in fact, with the knowledge coming from off the farm, by and large, the property rights to the rewards from that knowledge belong to those that generate it off the farm. And what farmers have to do is combine this knowledge with what they already know and with their fixed assets on the farm in profitable ways. And many farmers are doing this, but unfortunately probably 80% of the farmers are having problems with these new combinations because of aging, or because of education, or because of isolation, or just because lifestyle is so much more important than just making a profit.
What does this mean? I mean, what gives you as much credibility as anything in this subject is the fact that you are a farmer. What does this information mean to you? Has it changed your strategic approach to farming, understanding what you know about these changes to the rural economy?
Oh yes, it does completely, because I don't have to own all the assets to be successful in farming. We have a risk-sharing arrangement in our operation with other farmers, and we own different packages of assets. And this is one of the key issues today, is to realize that you don't have to own all these assets to be very successful in farming.
Does this discussion in this whole new rural economy and how what you've described suggests to me that there is quite a separation between the commodity basis of the rural economy that we have known and the service basis which you're starting to describe here? Does that explain a little bit that farmers, whether they're dropping the ball or not even getting a chance to carry the ball in this new economy?
Well, I don't think farmers are dropping the ball, but it depends which and how many balls they're trying to juggle at the same time. We noticed today in today's news that Kraft is laying off a lot of workers, and many of these plants probably will be closed, maybe up to 5 in Canada. The food processing industry and the agriculture industry shed labor and shed people. And that's part of what we see as a crisis, because the signal to get out of a business usually comes when you can't any longer finance your deficits year by year.